Nigerian employees of these establishments as presented by the Senate Committee.
We have since taken action. Some action relates to immigration, others relate to some of the companies involved.
The Senate Committee also took critical review of the 2016 budget performance and the 18.75 billion naira 2017 budget proposal of the ministry.
This slight increase in capital allocation will translate to optimum performance in the execution of the capital project in 2017.
Meanwhile, Minister of the FCT, Mohammed Bello, has put the 2016 budget performance of the FCT at 34%. The FCT Permanent Secretary, Babatokpe Ajekeye, also explained the focus of the 37.29 billion naira 2017 national priority budget estimates of the FCT.
In this 2017 proposal is the completion of ongoing infrastructure projects in the Federal Capital City.
The committee expressed displeasure over the poor performance of the 2016 budget, but assured close working relationship to achieving infrastructural development of the FCT.
Abuja must be given very utmost priority and attention in terms of capital releases, except we want to mess up the city.
The committee also has plans to ensure that private establishments in the FCT live up to their social responsibilities. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
As ECOWAS Parliament reconvenes for its first extraordinary session for this year, authorities of the three arms of the regional bloc have lauded Nigeria and ECOWAS for a swift intervention in the Gambian political impasse. This was at the opening session of the Parliament in Abuja. Joseph Arok reports.
The first extraordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament was basically reconvened to enable members consider and adopt the draft reports of the Committee on Legal and Judicial Affairs on the implementation of the supplementary acts relating to the enhancements of the powers of the Parliament. As customary with the opening session, the Speaker of the Parliament, Presidents of the Community Court of Justice, and that of the Commission welcomes the parliamentarians. Key in their speeches was the acknowledgement of the timely efforts of ECOWAS and the international leaders in averting the political crisis in the Gambia.
And in addition to our basic missions, the challenges that we are facing from this supplementary act.
In the area of peace and security, despite the fact that the region still faces multifaceted security challenges which continue to befall hard-working populations, particularly in Mali, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Niger, and Nigeria, I am pleased to report that our community continues to make significant progress in the consolidation of democracy and strengthening of economic integration in several member states.
Speaker Sisilo enjoined parliamentarians and other arms of the ECOWAS to work in harmony for the actualization of the mandates of socio-economic integration of the region. The 5-day session will also consider and adopt the draft program of activities of the Parliament for the year 2017. In Abuja, Joseph Oro, NTA News.
The federal government says Boko Haram affiliate Muslim Brotherhood cell in Kogi State has plans to acquire bomb-making chemicals and high-caliber weapons to perpetrate acts of terror, including attacks on banks, arms depot, and prisons. In a statement in Abuja, Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said intelligence monitoring has shown that the cell is making frantic efforts to advance its IED-making capability through the acquisition of chemicals. The minister said intelligence also revealed that the group is making serious efforts to acquire sophisticated arms, including shoulder-fired rocket launchers. Further intelligence monitoring revealed that members of the Muslim Brotherhood are planning to forcefully free their members who are in detention in Kogi, Abuja, and Kaduna, including one Bilal Minu, an IED expert for the group who is now at Kuje prisons. Alhaji Mohammed appealed to Nigerians to be vigilant and report any suspicious persons or movements to the appropriate authorities. Adamawa State Governor is to close official internally displaced persons camp across the state by the end of March. Governor Mohammed Umar Jibrila said this in Yola as the National Logistics Committee on IDPs presented assorted food items to victims of insurgency and other vulnerable groups in the state. Shegun Lawale reports.
In the wake of the Boko Haram insurgency, Makoyi IDP camp, one of the camps in Adamawa State, had about 9,000 IDPs. But today, the number has reduced to 2,800, predominantly women and children. Most of the youth and able-bodied men have returned to their ancestral homes, leaving behind IDPs from neighboring states, a situation Governor Jibrila described as indication of return of peace.
We try to cooperate with Borno so that they can come and take their IDPs back home. In fact, we have already earmarked by March ending. Yeah, we would like to see these IDPs is close.
Although there are 3 official IDP camps left, the composite nature of the IDP in Adamawa, where others, apart from victims of insurgency, like fire, floods, communal and other clashes, had to share from the items distributed, the 15,000 bags of rice and other consumables are like a drop in the ocean.
We haven't been to a place like Madagali. If you go to Madagali, you will cry. People are suffering.
And as long as infraction continues, customs will also continue to seize the goods, and the goods will be given to the IDPs, even in their natural communities.
The committee earlier had an interaction with the Deputy Governor Martins Babale at the Government House. Shegun Lawale, NTA News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on the 3rd of February 2017 on a building belonging to a former group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Andrew Yakubu, in Kaduna, yielded the recovery of a staggering sum of $9,772,800 United States dollars and another sum of £74,000 cash. The huge cash was hidden in a fireproof safe. The surprise raid of the facility was sequel to an intelligence which the Commission received about suspected proceeds of crime believed to be hidden in the slums of Sabon Tasha area of Kaduna. On arrival at the facility, the caretaker of the house, one Bitrus Yakubu, a younger brother to Andrew Yakubu, disclosed that both the house and the safe where the money was found belonged to his brother, Andrew Yakubu. On February 8, 2017, Andrew Yakubu reported to the Commission's zonal office in Kano and made statements wherein he admitted ownership of the recovered money, claiming it was gift from unnamed persons. He is currently assisting in investigations. 40 illegal refineries have been uncovered by the Nigerian Navy ship Delta at Jones Creek, Warri, southwest local government area of Delta State. Elabo Agbara reports that the Delta Navy commander, Commodore Ibrahim Dewu, led the Operation River Sweep It, where 3 suspects are also arrested.
The operation is aimed at eradicating maritime criminals in the Nigerian waterways and creeks. On citing the Navy officers, the operators of the illegal refineries ran away, abandoning their products and facilities. The activities of these illegal refiners have caused pollution both on the land and water. The commander who led the operation said the waste of the refineries is channeled into the river, thereby destroying the aquatic life.
The CNS has given us a mandate which we must keep. We are going to continue and we are going to sustain this operation so that we'll be able to stop these illegal activities within the creek. This will make the community live a normal life.
In a related developments, the Nigerian Navy has flagged up Operation Sare Teku 4 at the new Ports Warri Delta State. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ikwe-Abbas, represented by the Head of Training and Operations, Rear Admiral Adeniyi Osinowo, reiterated the resolve of the Nigerian Navy to flush out criminals from the creek and safeguard the waterways.
For this reason, the Nigerian Navy continues to diligently pursue its mandate of securing the nation's vast maritime space in support of our national interest.
Suffice to say that statistics and at our disposal shows a drastic reduction in occurrences of piracy, sea robbery, and all other forms of crimes in our maritime environment as a result of the direct intervention of Operations Teku.
River Sweep 2 will complement Sare Teku 4 to stem the tide of activities of sea pirates and illegal refineries. Elo Agbra, NTA News.
The federal government is to adopt a system that will allow farmers access to heavy-duty equipment to boost food production, targeting 1 million tractors in the next 5 years. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audogbe, says Nigeria will sign an agreement with Brazilian government on production and supply of tractors. Musa Babaliu reports.
There are over 60 million farmers like Abdullahi that use hoe and cutlass to produce food that majority of Nigerians consume on a daily basis. The use of heavy-duty equipment for cultivation, he says, is beyond the reach of smallholder farmers like him. For farmers like Abdullahi to access equipment such as tractors, tillers and threshers, the federal government, through Bank of Agriculture, is to roll out a scheme that will bring down the prices of heavy-duty machines.
We shall also bear in mind the fact that if we do bring these machines, there must be a good stock of spare parts, so that no tractor sits there for more than a day or two without getting back to work. 3, we hope to bring down interest rates, not only through this scheme that the banks are bringing, but because we are restructuring the Bank of Agri.
We also have to support local manufacture, and we have to develop sustainable funding arrangement. We also have to include agricultural mechanization in the national development plan of our own country.
The tractor hiring scheme will also be included in the growth enhancement scheme, whereby smallholder farmers can apply and have tractor services at subsidized rate. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Jigawa State government is to build a modern market for rice farmers as part of efforts to boost agriculture, create wealth and jobs. The project will be financed jointly by the state government and the Agricultural Transformation Agenda. Salisu Aminu completes the report.
The project covers the provision of social infrastructure at the market and the development of an irrigation scheme aimed at boosting rice production and supply to the proposed rice market. Under the program, Jigawa State government will provide 2,000 hectares of land to farmers in Oyo local government area, in addition to vast arable land under the Hadeja Jama'ar River Basin Development Authority. Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Alhaji Kabir Ali, said the partnership between Jigawa State government and the Agricultural Transformation Agenda will ease the hardship faced by rice farmers who are always shortchanged by middlemen.
We are determined to provide some stores, scales, and some transportation, thereby allowing the local government to get some revenue.
Coordinator Kano Jigawa Agricultural Transformation Agenda, Alhaji Awal Ado, appealed to contractors handling the project not to compromise standards.
The project is in 2 types. There is ones we call ancillary and social infrastructure, which deals with the construction of primary schools, community markets, and basic health centers, with the portable supply of potable water to the communities.
Some rice farmers expressed gratitude to the Jigawa State government for the project, which is expected to be completed within 6 months. From Duse, Salis Aminu, NTA News.
With the alarming statistics of cancer cases and challenges of its treatment, a non-governmental organization in Akwanga, Nasarawa State, is educating the rural populace on the importance of screening. Joshua Kigbo reports that the wife of the Senate President sent a message of hope that cancer is not a death sentence if detected early.
At the flag off of cancer awareness campaign organized by Gunka New Hope Foundation, the wife of the Senate President Toyin Saraki, represented by Ms. Angela Adelami, while calling on organizations and individuals to support people living with cancer, urged Nigerians to undergo regular screening to know their cancer status.
Let us not be tired of investing our time, energy, passion, and resources, not only towards combating cancer, but in seeking improved healthcare delivery.
The managing director, Gunka New Hope Foundation, Lois Gunka, called on government to intensify efforts on the treatment of the disease in the country. In Akwanga, Joshua Kibu, NTA News.
You're watching NTA International News, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. We'll take a break now and be back shortly.
The House of Representatives Committee on FCT Area Council and Ancillary Matters hereby invite memoranda from the Nigeria Society of Estate Valuers and Town Planners, civil society groups and other relevant stakeholders to a public hearing on a bill for an act for the establishment of the Satellite Towns Development Agency. Date Thursday, 16 February 2017. Time 10 a.m. Venue, Conference Room 034, House of Reps Wing. Forward one soft copy and 50 hard copies of each memorandum to the Clerk of the House Committee. Receipt of memoranda ends on Wednesday, 10th February 2017. Honorable Gisalo Zephaniah, Chairman of the Committee, Announcer.
Thanks for staying with us. And now from our business desk comes the report that with skills acquisition and entrepreneurship development now the way to reduce unemployment globally, it is expected of every youth corps member to acquire a skill. Details of this and more with Olainka Ojo on Business News.
Welcome to Business News. The growing rate of unemployment in Nigeria is a source of great concern. This is why acquiring a skill to make youth self-reliant and employers of labor is top on the agenda of the present administration. Explaining that great economies of the world have entrepreneurship as its backbone, Director General NYSC Brigadier General Suleiman Zakari says the scheme will continue to produce young employers of labor through its skills acquisition and entrepreneurship program. While modalities to market the produce and products of youth corps members are gradually being put in place, the NYSC boss added that the scheme is working on establishing NYSC skills acquisition centers in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
I've started with Ikiti. I'm sure Ikiti by next week it will be okay, because we're trying to finish it off. Then the one in Gombe, I'm sure it's about 30 or 40% completion.
The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has endorsed the new national tax policy by the federal government to shore up the country's dwindling revenue base, occasioned by the shortfall of oil prices. The acting chairman of the commission, Shetima Umar Abagana, last year had canvassed upward review of value-added tax from 5% to about 7.5% in order to improve the country's revenue base. Before we go, let's take a quick check on how the equities market fared on Friday. And that's it on the business segment of the news. I am Olainka Ojo.
Moving on now, the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, NTDC, is taking practical steps towards reviving the tourism sector in Nigeria. Acting Director General, NTDC, Marial Rio Omo, said this at a stakeholders meeting on plans to develop tourist sites in Nigeria. Oyinaya Kalu Oka reports.
There are several tourist attractions in Nigeria, each with its own uniqueness, nature, structure, and historical background. At the meeting with members of the Federation of Tourist Associations of Nigeria, the Acting Director General, NTDC Marial Ray Omo, reaffirmed the corporation's commitment in working with the private sector to develop tourist sites.
Development of a template for running tourism in Nigeria, and then encouraging the private sector stakeholders to undertake the development of Nigeria's tourism products.
Similarly, the corporation endorsed a book on redefining tourism in Nigeria, which is to serve as a thinking aid and useful guide towards uplifting the sector.
It's now we should begin to think tourism, eat tourism and dream it, because that is where everybody is going.
For people to begin to say, what is in my environment? What can I sell? What can I advertise with what I have?
A report by the World Travel and Tourism Council indicates that the sector now supports about 284 million people in employment globally. Uina Kalu Oka, NTA News.
With some stories making the news around the world, Oku Ekwenyo takes us through.
We begin from Africa, where
President Jacob Zuma of South Africa has lashed out at the Economic Freedom Fighters EFF members, saying the party has no policies and is just a group of angry individuals. He says the EFF is a party that contradicts democratic principles which it claims to stand for. Meanwhile, South Africa's opposition Democratic Alliance said it was seeking a court ruling on the deployment of armed soldiers in parliament, saying the move during President Zuma's State of the Nation speech was unconstitutional. And thousands of soldiers from the West African bloc, ECOWAS, will start returning home this month from Gambia, from where longtime leader Yahya Jammeh was forced to flee last month, paving the way for the new president Adama Barrow to take office. The multinational force will be cut to 500 troops from the 7,000 sent into Gambia after Jammeh, who had ruled since seizing power in the 1994 coup, refused to accept Barrow's victory in a December 1 election. A U.S. federal appeal court has rejected President Donald Trump's attempt to reinstate his ban on citizens from 7 mainly Muslim countries. The 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeal said it would not block a ruling by a Seattle court that halted the order. Mr. Trump responded with a tweet saying national security was at risk and there would be a legal challenge. Oku Ekpayong, NTA News.
Now sports. 4 African nations to compete in the 19th Ladies Open Amateur Golf Tournament in Abuja, as 1 year countdown to the 2018 Winter Olympics is marked in Pyeongchang, South Korea. Kene Ebambudike brings us details on sports updates.
As well as 140 guests are vying for honors in the 19th Ladies Open Amateur Tournament, which teed off at the IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja Thursday. The 18-hole competition, which ends on Sunday, is featuring handicaps 0 to 28 and 29 to 36.
It's an opportunity for us to come together in this city of unity, to recreate, build relationship, and to network.
As Wiki Tourist Football Club of Bauchi sets to confront Royal Armed Forces Football Club of Sierra Leone in their first leg tie of the CAF Confederation Cup Sunday in Freetown, technical advisor of the club, Mohamed Babaganaro, says his players are fully equipped to put up a good contest. Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed reports that the team is poised for better days ahead, even as it hopes to improve upon their present poor performance in the domestic league. Meanwhile, FC Ifeanyi will welcome El Masri of Egypt in Nnewi on Sunday in one of the scheduled fixtures. The English Premier League enters week 25.
That concludes the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. Thanks for watching. Ominodan is my name.